Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to TechGig webinar series. Our endeavor to empower techies. We believe that sharing of knowledge is the key to enhance our skills and grow us as professionals. With this principle in mind, we have initiated a series of webinars conducted by industry experts to give you all a crisp insight of various domains. The topic of today's session is Achieving CMMI the IBM Rational Way. Our guest speaker today is Raghu Srinivas Murthy, Brand Architect, IBM. Raghu currently works as a IBM Rational Brand Architect with a focus on technical pre-sales. He has 12 years of IT experience and enables customers to integrate best practices, processes, automation tools, and provide mentoring services. Raghu speaks regularly at international conferences, seminars, users groups sponsored by IBM. He is an IBM Rational Certified Professional. He holds a MBA in Marketing from Symbiosis University, Pune. So, without further delay, I introduce you all to our guest speaker. Over to you, Raghu.
Okay. Thank you, Aradhana. I really appreciate that. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Let me begin this discussion by thanking all of you for joining us today for this interesting topic, Achieving CMMI IBM Rational Way. Okay, this is the brief agenda what we have for this discussion today. We're going to discuss about the CMMI and the process areas, the categories and the practices. And then we'll try to understand how do we automate these process areas using set of IBM Rational portfolio and set of solutions. And finally, we get introduced to the IBM Rational set of solutions. So this is the brief agenda what we have for next 45 to 50 minutes. Moving to next slide number 3. Okay, we are in the interesting phase of software development and delivery model. We are in the era of software-driven innovation and differentiation. If you look at any of the industry verticals, defense, aerospace, electronics, retail, automobile, software is being used as a major differentiating factor compared to the competitors, and softwares are driving innovation at all walks of life, not only the industrial sector. Even if you take up the ministries of Indian government, software is being automation, technology plays a very important role, key role in every aspect of life. The slide talks about two major aspects based on some of the statistics by Deloitte Consulting. One is the mobile banking, which in India, which we are trying to implement, making it as mainstream, is going to be the widely used banking channel by 2020. It's already a major banking channel in some of the countries like Philippines. Some of the African nations are using mobile banking in a big way. And if you look at today's automobile machines, cars manufactured by all these BMW, not only BMW, Hyundai, Maruti, they got more million lines of software compared to a fighter jet. I know that's an amazing fact, the data that we have in front of us. So, these are the statistics that we have. And if you look at from a day-to-day activity in my life and in your life, if you look at today's Meru cabs, or if you look at Flipkart, e-commerce, online retail portals, they are differentiating themselves by competitors using software technology as a major driving factor, major innovating factor. So software has become a driving factor for the innovation, differentiating factor from a competitive perspective, and they have become a major source of value creation for the organizations and for the businesses. Having said that, software increasingly driving the innovation. Having said that, moving to the next slide, there exists challenges in terms of successfully developing and delivering the software. What are those challenges in terms of effectively, successfully delivering the software to your clients and my clients' customers? One is, today's software has become very complex in nature. It's no more VB application, standard C++ application, correct? You have security, you have social networking, the mobility, the cloud, the legacy applications, software as a service, platform as a service, outsourcing. It's a very complex, tricky subject. And the market pressures. These are driving organizations, and these are major hurdles in terms of developing and delivering so-called successful software to end customers. Look at the complexities that are involved in terms of delivering a successful software. One is, you have a multi-platform systems and applications. You have packaged applications, mobility applications, legacy software, mainframe applications. So that's one kind of challenge that we have in terms of developing and delivering software-driven innovation to our customers. Again, you have globally distributed development team, on-site and offshore model, outsourcing strategy, outsource model. Cost reduction, that's being a mandate of COO and CEO. You have to do more with less. Increasing mandates from government organizations, from industry bodies, HIPAA compliance, SOX compliance, RBI guidelines. Changing requirements due to business, due to competition, due to regulations. Time to market has become very crucial in this agile world and mobility world. So lots of challenges in terms of developing and delivering so-called successful software. Moving to next slide. Okay, apart from these challenges, the practical challenge in any software services organization or when developing and delivering a successful software is all these teams working in silos. They are not on the same page. Transparency is missing. Collaboration, the real collaboration is not happening. So the businesses which are deciding in terms of strategy, in terms of vision, in terms of execution, and the development team which actually develops and delivers the software, and the operation team which deploys and manages the software, they are not on the same page. So the businesses, development, and operations, they are working in silos. There exists a barrier between these three different kind of teams. They're not on the same page. This is another major hurdle in terms of developing and delivering a successful software to the customers and to the enterprises. Now the question is, okay, fair enough. Where is CMMI coming into picture? We're talking about innovation, using different jargons, the differentiation and value creation factor to enterprises and to the customers. Now, CMMI, capability maturity model, is one of the methodology framework for the process improvement in software engineering. The CMMI gives you the best practices. It defines certain categories. It provides around 22 process areas for software engineering and the development. Correct? Now CMM has introduced maturity model areas, maturity levels for services, software services, and even for the acquisition strategy, they came up with their own process areas and maturity levels. We are looking at more towards software engineering, software development today, in our discussion today, everyone? I guess it's still, there is a bit latency in terms of slide display view. Aradhana, are you okay? Now I can see the 100%. Okay. Now, if you look at the CMMI categories, the entire process areas are divided into 4 categories: process management, project management, engineering, and support. So these are the major 4 categories that we have in software development or software engineering, process improvement. And it defines around 22 process areas around these 4 categories. And it has got maturity levels to measure the capabilities of software delivery processes of each organization. CMMI level 1, initial, repeatable, managed, defined, optimized. So there are different kind of maturity levels. So CMMI gives you the methodology framework, and it gives you the best practices in terms of process improvement and software engineering and software delivery, correct? And then just having CMMI process there defined is not enough. The process areas, the work products, work breakdown structure, the outcomes, the input, it's not enough. It becomes a story, a static pages. How do I automate these process areas? How do I implement these process areas to make sure that I have this software-driven innovation happening in my customer place or in my organization? So you need automation, correct? I'll give you a couple of facts where we can discuss. Cognizant recently means 2-3 months back, signed a infrastructure management service deal with IPsoft. IPsoft is an infrastructure automation providing company based out of US, which is managed by, which was a startup and started by an Indian origin person. What it's doing is it's automating most of infrastructure management calls, infrastructure management services, and they had signed up similar kind of deals with Infosys and other organizations. And CGI CEO Michael, he was in Bangalore recently, and he made a statement 1 month back, 1.5 months back. He said, we have 69,000 people, and we have the same market capitalization and revenue of TCS, which is almost around 2.77 lakh people, approximate figures. This came in Times of India only. Now what we're trying to do is automation, how automation plays so important role in terms of value creation and developing and delivering the successful software. You can do more with less. Okay, that's the message that I wanted to discuss with you people. The automation, and we also discussed about the challenge in terms of bringing these businesses, development team and the operations team coming together, breaking the barriers between decision-making body, development and operations people. So how do we do that? So the question is, CMMI could be one of the best methodology or framework to have, and we need automation, and we need to break the barriers between these major teams to effectively develop and deliver the software. The question is, how do we do that? So that's where IBM Rational comes into picture. IBM set of solutions and portfolio. The Rational is one of the brands within IBM, which provides application lifecycle management solutions and set of capabilities to organizations. Let's try to understand how can we achieve this CMMI, or how do we implement these CMMI process areas using IBM set of portfolio and set of solutions. That's the agenda for today. That's what we've been discussing. So let's begin with process management. That's one of the category in the CMMI, the process management. And it has got different process areas which talks about. It has got organizational process definition, organizational process focus. So these are the few process areas. Apart from these two, there are some more process areas. Now the question is, how do we implement this process area using IBM rational set of solutions? In process management itself, if you are a process engineer, a process engineering team in organizations, you'll be aware the challenges that's faced by software process engineering group or quality management group. One is project execution. Project is not delivered on time and on budget. Compliance auditing. It's tiring experience when you have to audit your entire processes, show them what you have defined, you're following the right set of processes, or processes probably may not be defined properly. Process improvement. The question is, we know which process is working, which processes are not working. How do I improve these processes? How do I quickly roll out the processes, templates? Okay. And how do I manage changes to these processes? If I make a change to one of the processes, it's been reused in many other places. For example, the test execution. Okay. These are all static HTML pages. So how do I do the process improvement? Outsourcing and geographical distributed development. I have a process. How do I communicate these processes with my strategic partner, TCS, Infosys, Wipro, outsource partner? Okay, fair enough. I have a process. Can I enact this process in an automated fashion? Can I take this work breakdown structure? Can I take these roles, tasks, work products directly into the execution stage in an automated fashion by creating project templates, by assigning these set of tasks to the development community? Measure those tasks. So these are the typical challenges in terms of process definition, process customization, process improvement, and process enactment, both at project level and enterprise level. That's where Rational Method Composer, which is part of a Rational portfolio, comes very handy for the software development organizations. A Rational Method Composer is a method authoring and management platform which helps organizations and teams to define, to customize, to publish, and to enact software engineering processes. The major differentiating factor of this solution is, out of the box, it provides a set of process practice areas or process plugins like RUP process plugins, agile, legacy application, maintenance development, COTS development, packaged application implementation, Java J2E development, web services development, asset-based development, enterprise modernization. So process definition, you don't have to define it from scratch. It provides you 100+ of process libraries out of the box. One is you can use it as it is, as a process definition, or you can leverage the process libraries that comes along with this solution, customize it, enhance it, and use it in your projects and in your line of business. It also provides process libraries for electronics industries, different kind of verticals, so that you can have that jump start in terms of process definition. It also provides, tailoring tools where you can customize the process, you can reuse the method contents, so that you can quickly roll out these processes. I'll give an example how we have done it a couple of customer locations. In one of the large system integrator in India, where they said we are moving to new area, a new market, and we are moving to this particular domain, healthcare domain, we have the process. We have this quality management, huge 40,000 line of HTML pages. But we want to quickly roll out to this healthcare practices. We reused existing method content, used raster method composer, create the process in a quick span of time, and there was a process ready, defined, customized, specific to a new market and new healthcare domain and industry. So this helps in terms of differentiating from your competitor, time to market, reducing the cost, more automation. This way, organizations can create, customize, and publish enact software engineering processes. You can publish these processes in terms of PDF files, HTML pages, and deploy it on a web application server, which can be consumed by your employees, your users, your partners, the entire ecosystem, so that there is a standardization across the organization. Everybody knows who is doing what, when, and where, and why. Now, again, the question is, okay, fair enough. Now I have the process templates. Can you enact this, correct? Can you automate this entire enactment? The IBM Rational Solutions not only helps you to define the process, you can do the execution automated fashion by taking it to the execution platform. We'll talk about that. So using Rational Unified Process, which supports Agile Process Library, XP library, Scrum library, there are different kind of libraries, helps you to define or implement CMMI category card as a process management. Now, let's move on and let's try to understand from a project management. The second category in CMMI is project management. It has got few process areas like product and portfolio management, project planning, project monitoring and control, requirements management, and risk management. So let's understand by using IBM Rational set of solutions, how can we implement these process areas like product and portfolio management, project planning, project monitoring and control. Moving to next slide. Okay, so now in terms of product and portfolio management, these are the typical triggers. If you go and talk to a portfolio manager, program manager, or a product manager, he always, these are the triggering questions that you have, conversation starters. One is, I got ideas, how do I manage ideas in terms of my product development? I got demand management, demand coming from sales people, marketing people, how do I do the demand management? Business planning, how do I align my solutions to the organization strategy, organization vision? How do I prioritize the features? How do I prioritize the demands, the ideas? How do I manage my infrastructure, set of architecture? How do I map my product applications to the business processes and to the strategy and to the vision? How do I do that? Prioritization. Which feature should go in this release? Which idea should be implemented? Which idea is going to give me more return on investment, revenue generation? Correct? So how do I do that as a product and portfolio management? So we have a solution called as a rational focal point, which helps organizations to make that so-called fast and informed decisions based on, by capturing your business processes, your strategy, your business goals, your vision. It also not only captures business process, it also captures your architecture, your hardware infrastructure, your applications, and then map all these things to your ideas, demands, requirement, risk factor, prioritize them, and then manage your set of products, what features should go in this release, what is the competitive assessment, marketing strategy. So you can capture all these data, analyze them, and helps organizations to take so-called fast and informed decisions, product and portfolio management. The solution is a rational focal point and system architect. This set of solutions helps organizations to decide. You remember we had one slide which talked about bringing all these people, decide, business development team and operations team onto the same page. They're working on silos. So how do I bridge the gap, overcome those barriers? So these set of solutions helps business people, the leadership and the organizations to take informed decisions and prioritize their investments, prioritize their time, effort, and generate more revenue. And time to market. Now you know that, okay, mobile, because in this mobile world, so people want features, capabilities to be delivered every month in mobile consumer application, probably 2 times in a week. So that's the kind of world that we are living in. So that's in terms of product and portfolio management. Moving to next slide. Project planning. So what's happening is, in a traditional way, the project planning has always been static in nature. The work breakdown structure, you define the set of tasks, the rules which will perform the task, and the work products that gets generated. And the challenges was the project planning was not tied to the execution. Correct? When I say execution, the execution is happening at your IDE level. It's happening at your configuration management level. It's happening at your test execution and test asset management. Correct? That's where the testing team, operations team, development team, engineering team, design team, they're working there. And the moment you close the defect, the moment more enhancement requirements land into your platform, your collaborative lifecycle or application lifecycle management platform, your project plan should reflect those changes. The moment you close 10 user stories saying done in agile world, your project plan should reflect that. That was not happening. Project planning was not tied to the execution. And the project planning should support waterfall, iterative, and the agile templates. So IBM Rational has got a solution called as a CLM, Collaborative Lifecycle Management. It is a one-stop solution, starting from requirements definition to management, project planning, work items management, configuration management, change request management, defect management, build management, test asset management, which is a completely web-based solution. So this solution helps you in terms of achieving that project plan, and they are tied to the execution. Since it's one-stop shop, so and it's very dynamic in nature, your project plan. Any change happens in the other world, execution world, your project planning is reflecting. Your sprints, your product backlog, somebody changes a user story from one sprint to another sprint, immediately your project plan. That's what you're seeing on the screen now. The project plan, there are different views that it provides, work breakdown structure, you have a dashboard, you have like a Scrum task board, different views are provided. And they're dynamically reflecting the changes that are happening in the real world, in the execution world. The next one is, which I would like to discuss, is requirements management. So in the project management, we just talked about product and portfolio management, project planning, now the requirements management. Requirements become a very crucial factor in terms of making sure the projects are successful. The good requirements are the key to the project success. So you can see that a lot of statistics that talks about how crucial so-called good requirements. You can see that, okay, IAG Consulting talking about having good requirement practices in place can do wonders to the software delivery teams. Average on-time performance increases 161%, time overruns were reduced by 87%, budget overruns reduced by 75%. Huge drastical changes and savings and improvements that's happening by just having so-called good requirements management in place, or the automation in place. So how do we achieve this? Correct? Good requirements. Aradhana, you're able to see the slides? I can see just only 98%.
Yes,
Okay.
the slide name is Good Requirements Are Key to Project Success. Yes,
That's
it's
correct,
visible.
Aradhana. Thank you very much. Thanks for
Yes,
confirming.
it's visible. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. So the solution is IBM Rational Requirements Composer, as I said, which is one of the capability as part of the CLM solution. Now, this solution provides you, this is a completely web-based solution, and this solution is similar to Facebook way of developing and delivering the software. The moment you make some changes, notifications are there. It's a completely web-based. You just open up the Firefox browser or Internet Explorer, start keying in the requirements, manage them. It also provides you lifecycle traceability and impact analysis. Any change happens in a requirement, immediately it shows that, okay, hey, these set of assets are related to requirement, and the architecture, the design, and the test cases. It's going to have an impact on these set of test cases. It also provides you review and approval process, discussions, email notifications. What it does essentially is, these kind of collaborative Facebook way of developing and delivering the software is, it provides you it brings huge transparency into the system. Who is doing what, when, and why. If there's a new requirement gets created by on-site business analyst, it's immediately available for the operation team, business team, whoever is part of this. Out of the box email notification, RSS feeds, Gmail, Gtalk, Skype chats, same time discussions, Jabber notification discussions, different kind of chatting, video chat, all this can be achieved using this web-based solution. It has got review and approval process, discussions, so that when there is a transparency in the system, when there is a review process built into the system, there is no way where, and requirement sign-off are there and transparency is there, you will be able to capture good requirements early in the life cycle. Because of the more collaboration, a lot of stakeholders participating in this, the kind of features that it offers, digital signatures, all these kind of automation capabilities, the templates, it provides you templates based on CMMI, IEEE standards. So if you're using these set of documents, by keying in requirements, you're already compliant towards these set of MIL standards, IEEE standards. That's the advantage having a jump start. So essentially today what we are discussing is how do we implement and support these process areas using IBM Rational set of solution. How do we bring more automation in order to implement CMMI process areas? As part of this discussion, we are talking about a different set of capabilities from IBM Rational software portfolio. So you can see here clearly in the next slide, I guess it's still displaying, where it clearly shows that, okay, bridging the gap between all these different kind of teams, business analyst team, development team, and testing team, showing lifecycle traceability. A requirement is getting implemented by so-and-so user stories, validated by so-and-so test cases. And if there is any change in any one of the requirement, the solution automatically shows you that, okay, hey, this is going to have an impact on these set of assets. It shows the entire relationship as a suspect. So these kind of capabilities and the features, automation helps you to achieve so-called good requirements early in the life cycle in agile fashion. So that's what we are looking at. So moving to next slide is engineering, correct? Engineering is all about having the solution. And process management is all about process definition, process improvement, process enactment. Project management, we talked about product and portfolio management, requirements management, risk management, project planning, project measurement. Engineering is making sure we have that solution and validate that solution. CMMI talks about a few process areas: requirements development, technical solution, product integration, build management, validation and verification, correct? Now, let's try to understand what are the different kind of solutions that we offer in terms of implementing these process areas. As we said, as we discussed earlier, we are moving towards social way. In every interaction, it's going to be the social way. Whether it's going to be software development, idea creation, the discussion, the meeting, it has become very social. A Facebook way of developing and delivering the software. So the real collaboration is not just, okay, you open up a messenger chat service and start discussing, hey, what are you doing? You know, that's not the collaboration. That's what we are looking at. The collaboration is who is doing what, when and why. The discussions and the information around a specific task, specific defect, specific work item. And making sure that bringing all the people, all the stakeholders onto the same page, irrespective of their time zones, geography, domains, and making sure that huge transparency is built onto the system. Any requirements lands to your infrastructure, everybody knows, including your test engineer, including your support engineer. That's the kind of transparency that we are discussing, that we are looking at. So having that real collaboration where people work together to achieve that one business goal or technology goal. How do we achieve that? IBM Rational CLM solution, Collaborative Lifecycle Management Solution, as I said, it acts as a one-stop shop, which is a completely web-based solution, platform independent, whether it's a mainframe development, Ubuntu, Linux, SUSE Linux, Red Hat Linux, Sun Solaris platform, Windows box. It's a platform independent. You can just insert on any of the box and just open up the browser and start using this set of solution. It provides you project planning. It provides you work items management. It provides you, if it's a Java J2E, it provides you IDE, Eclipse IDE. It also provides you the build management, defect management, all the different kind of capability, test asset management, all the different kind of capabilities, which is a web-based. And it can also integrate it with SAP Solution Manager if you're doing SAP development, .NET, COBOL-based development on ZBox. So as I said, it's a platform, tool agnostic and technology agnostic solution. If you look at the benefits, at the end of the day, hey, fair enough, you're talking about IBM set of portfolio, you're talking about how to implement CMMI process areas, but what's the benefits in terms of automating using rational set of solutions? Couple of data that we would like to discuss. You can see that, okay, having these set of solutions as part of your delivery model, you can say that, okay, team productivity increases up to 50%. Team collaboration performance up 25%. Quality of releases improves 12%. Project governance improvements of 12%. So these are not small numbers. If you look at from a 2,000 people, 4,000 people working in large accounts, huge numbers, big numbers in terms of ROI calculation. Finally, the support. support category and the process area, CMMI process areas, which talks about configuration management, measurement and analysis, metrics generation, reporting, process and product quality assurance. So you can see that, okay, one is which in engineering, I'm sorry, I forgot to discuss. We do have testing solutions to verify and validate the software. Performance testing solution, functionality testing solution, virtualization, continuous integration testing, mobile application testing. Okay, so different kind of solutions, quality management and testing solutions are available as part of the engineering quality management portfolio, which helps you to implement process areas in CMMI engineering category. In terms of support, if you look at the support, there are two aspects: version control, configuration management, which is part of CLM solution. One thing probably you might have heard nowadays is DevOps, which is picking up a set of practices helping in deploying the solutions successfully in a faster period. So how do we make sure that, okay, whichever the applications or the products that are getting developed are successfully deployed, and this entire deployment is automated, designed, and scheduled and managed. So we do have solutions in terms of deployment management, release management called as a urban code, U-deploy and IBM U-deploy and U-release, which helps you to take the applications and deploy it into UAT environment, SVT environment, production environment, different kind of environments, and back-end databases, deploying it on the databases, application servers, different kind of hardware and the servers. So that's one kind of, now DevOps is becoming one of the major component, or as big as ALM. So we are focusing on the DevOps in a big way within IBM. So the next slide talks about what is DevOps, making sure that, okay, all these applications and deployment strategy, you define the deployment goal, deployment strategy, how it gets deployed, define the process. All these things are taken care by this U-deploy solution. And finally, we talked about process management, we talked about project management, requirements management, collaborative lifecycle management, application lifecycle management. We also talked about configuration management. So the different software aspects of software engineering and application lifecycle management, correct? Finally, at the end of the day, whatever we develop, it has to be measured. And this solution provides you the dashboards and metrics, which helps you to measure what you develop. You will not be able to improve or get the benefit what you develop or what you measure. So measurement and getting the metrics out of it, and different kind of charts, different kind of reports, that becomes crucial, very important in terms of improving the processes. In the interest of the time, and finally, I have another 2 slides to discuss. This is about, using IBM set of solutions to implement CMMI process areas. Apart from CMMI, IBM rational set of portfolio and solutions helps you to implement or adhere to the compliances, other compliances and standards, effectively implement other standards. In automotive, you can achieve ISO 26262 in terms of automobile security, AUTOSAR, HIPAA compliance, SOX compliance in banking sector, SysML, JODAF, MODAF framework. So not only is implementing the CMMI, the IBM rational set of portfolio and solutions helps you in terms of achieving these standards and be compliant towards these kind of certifications and standards in different kind of industries, in different kind of line of businesses. Now, and the next slide talks about customer feedback and some of the success stories what we have. We got a huge customer base who are using our set of processes, best practices and tools and solutions to automate some of the practice areas and process areas and even to the CMMI. Here you can see that some of the data from Siemens, from CTS, Wipro, Infosys, all of the major customers, Reliance, all of them are customers, Tesco, retail. The last slide talks about mapping of IBM rational set of solutions to the CMMI maturity levels and the process areas, and the solutions that helps to implement and bring more automation to the software delivery model. Moving to the next slide. Okay, this is the last slide. I'll take the questions now. In a nutshell, okay, I just want to have summarize what we discussed so far and then answer the questions, some of the questions what we have. So what we are looking at is software as a major differentiating factor and software driving your innovation in your customer place and in your organizations. To develop successful software, you need to have best practices or process improvement framework, something like CMMI, which defines categories and process areas. And there are 22 process areas for software engineering and development in CMMI for development. And how do I automate those process areas and implement and support them? IBM Rational plays a key role, who is a market leader in this segment, application lifecycle management, helps organizations in terms of developing and delivering and implementing CMMI process areas. And we talked about those set of solutions in terms of IBM Rational, which effectively helps organization to implement those process areas. So now I would like to take some of the questions. Give me a few seconds. Let me open up this. Yeah, there are a lot of many
okay,
questions.
Raghu, I want to thank you. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, we have received many questions from our audience. First of all, let me thank you for the insightful presentation from you. And now, as you just said, let's quickly take up the questions now. I request you to kindly read out the questions aloud and their answers so that all our users may listen to the insights of yours. We will take the questions now, Raghu.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so we have few questions. Well, there is a question from Vamshi Manohar. He's saying that he's asking, what level of companies can use rational tool? Vamshi, see, I tell you, the CMMI initial phase, what we have at the maturity level, it's very ad hoc process. They're not using automated tool. It's not a repeatable process. And there not a lot of automations are there. Okay. From maturity level 2, you have these repeatable processes getting started. So you, at the end of the day, you take any organization, they are at the level 1 in CMMI. So automation, repeatable process, they start from level 2 and move on level 3, level 4, level 5. Okay. To answer your question, all organizations, they start with level 1. That means the ad hoc process, it's not repeatable. You name any organization, you start your organization today, you are at maturity level 1, correct? So, from level 2 to level 5, everybody is using IBM Rational set of solutions. That was Vamshi's question. Okay, Dinesh Sharma is asking, what is the cost of this Rational tool? Dinesh, please get in touch with us. We have shared our contact details. So we can discuss it further about the cost and the value proposition. We can come and discuss with you about the value proposition, the differentiating factor of these set of solutions. Okay, and Manas Kumar is asking this question. What are the rational tool sets available for end-to-end software lifecycle complying towards CMMI? Please give me the list of tools. Manas, we have three major solutions. One is Rational Method Composer, Rational Collaborative Lifecycle Management, and Rational Test Workbench. These are these are the three major components that I can list out. IBM has got hundreds of tools and solutions as middleware components. You can reach us or you can visit IBM website for further information. So let me take a few more questions here. Okay, there's one interesting question from Rajesh Kumar. His question is, most methodologies have moved to Agile. How does this fit in there? Yeah, Rajesh, you are right. Even in IBM Labs, our own software product development organization, where we actually develop these patents, technologies, and products, 50–60% of the development teams are moved to Agile practices, Agile process areas. All these solutions supports Scrum or open up processes, different XP, disciplined Agile delivery, different kind of methodologies and Agile processes. It by default, it comes with Agile templates. It supports Agile processes, Agile roles. It talks about sprints. It talks about product backlog, release backlog. So to answer your question, we are there, my friend. We're already there. Okay, and not only Agile, we also support waterfall and iterative. So that's another advantage of using this IBM set of solutions. Okay, there's one more question from Newton Raj. How much of time typically it requires to move from level 1 to level 5? Raj, it's very difficult to answer. It might take, from, if already organization is matured, they have the process in place, it's in manual, and they just need to automate it. It depends. It's very difficult to tell the time frame. You need to understand their requirements, understand what are the manual processes they have, their capabilities, their internal champions, and see the process improvement and moving from one maturity to another maturity. There is also involves people also, cultural change, okay, leadership sponsorship, internal champions, mentoring. So a lot of factors, that influences moving from one level to another level. So difficult to say that. So it depends from case to cases. There's one more question. You can see from Prithvi Kumar. Let me read out this question. It's a long question. It's meant for everyone to get trained. So Prithvi is saying, since CLM is used to enhance transparency across business development and operations, is it mandatory for everyone to get trained on the usage of the tool, or is it only for the development team to help all others with the analytics? Prithvi, if I understand your questions correctly, see, all these solutions, they're all role-based. So there are different roles that are there who contribute in terms of software development: analyst, designer, architect, developer, scrum master, product owner, tester, team member, correct? So all these roles should be enabled and trained in their capabilities. They don't have to get trained on the entire CLM. If I'm a scrum master, I should be trained and enabled in that capability. I guess it answers your question. Abhishek Srivastava is asking this question. There are different set of rational products in each of project concern like development, operation, etc. I hope we can choose one rational tool because our company might be excellent in delivering the one but lacking in another. Yes. Abhishek question is, there are so many tools that you are talking about in this discussion. Can we pick and choose what solution we want? And some of the process areas we have built our own tools, we are using open source solutions, or we want to follow some manual process. The answer is yes. You don't have to use all these tools. You can choose what are the automation capabilities that you want. There's one more question from Raju. How can rational be used extensively in infrastructure support services? Raju, to answer your question in terms of infrastructure support services, excuse me, incident management, defect management, project planning, configuration management. So all these capabilities can be used or supported by using IBM rational set of solution. I can see so many other questions. I'll take one more question because we're almost at 4 o'clock. If a mid-level company with ISO and CMMI level 5 certified can go with IBM rational automation tool, Vamshi Manohar is asking this question. Can they go with IBM rational automation tool, whether ISO certified or CMM level 5? The answer is yes. Aradhana, so I was able to answer most of the questions. If I'm not able to answer some of the questions because of the time constraint,
yes.
We apologize for that.
Yes, I would request. Yeah, I would request you to take the unanswered questions offline.
Yeah.
Which I will be able to share with you through email itself.
That sounds good.
And here, yes, super. And I'm really thankful to our guest speaker, Raghu, for conducting this interesting webinar with us. It was indeed a great session. I would also like to thank all our participants for their support in making this webinar a success. The recording of the webinar will be available on techgeek.com by tomorrow. Thank you all for joining us today. Thank you, sir, for taking the time out.
Thank you, Aradhana. We really appreciate. Yeah. Everybody, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, sir.
Have a great evening. Thank you.
The organizer